Welcome back to the 8-Man Breakdowns podcast. This is where we discuss all phases of the game of football, including philosophy, play concepts, questions, and more. Joining the show today is Coach Quinn Buessing. Coach Buessing is an assistant coach at Axtell High School in Axtell, Kansas. I was actually lucky enough to coach Quinn his senior year while at Axtell, and we went to the state championship and lost to Osborne. But when I left Axtell a little over 2 years ago, he was actually my replacement. And Eric, Dale, and Craig definitely made the right move because they haven't lost a game since. So, Coach, thanks for joining me today.
No problem. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so I'll have you tell us about yourself, your high school playing days, and how you got into coaching football.
So, I grew up around Axtell. My older brothers, they played for head coach Eric there now. I played under him for 4 years. I really enjoyed my time there playing. I learned a lot, good and bad things. So going there as a player and now going back there as a coach, it really means a lot to me because I love Axtell. I love the community. I love the culture that is established there. It was just a really great 4 years. And now that I took a year off, went and played college ball, and then you left. So then I got that opportunity. Eric asked me in the summer. It was just kind of nonchalant. And then I texted him and I helped out with him 2 years ago, would have been my first year. I really wasn't as involved. I did the summer training with the guys, and then this following year, I really got involved with the program, and I really enjoyed it. Just connecting with those guys and seeing what the coaches had to say about, game planning and all that stuff. I was never really a big part of that my first year, but this past year I was, and it's just, I really, really enjoy coaching there.
Well, I'm going on 8 years of coaching now, and all but this year I've been up in the booth with the headset on. So just kind of tell us your thoughts on it, now that you do that. Kind of what's your perspective of being up in the booth on game days?
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I love the bird's eye view up there, but at the same time, it's like you're down on the field, you're getting into it with the players and all that stuff. So, it's kind of love-hate, but I love being up there. So,
Yeah, definitely, no doubt. The being on the sideline aspect is huge for your player relationship and all that stuff. And then I definitely miss it at times too, because it's the best view in the house for sure. So, Coach, how did your experience in an 8-man spread offense? Well, just kind of talk about how that prepared you for your opportunity in junior college.
it really helped me a lot. The college game is transforming nowadays to that spread offense, and running it in high school for 4 years, it really prepared me, just to see kind of the looks that I would see in college. It's different going from 8-man to 11-man for sure. But I went from a spread offense in high school to a spread offense in college. And so, what really helped me is I played 7-on-7 after my senior year, and that was just to get a feel for that 11-man game. And then I played in the Shrine Bowl. I started in the Shrine Bowl. And, I feel like it just really helped me because every offense I've been a part of has been the spread offense. And so, concepts are very similar from 8-man to 11-man. Of course, it depends what offense you play in, but ours was that way. And it just helped me have a general understanding, and it made my transition to 11-man a lot easier than what most 8-man quarterbacks would be. I don't know if there's a whole lot playing college ball at the quarterback position, but I did, and it definitely helped me for sure.
What would you say is your favorite pass concept? Coming from the 11-man game, getting a chance to play quarterback in junior college with different 11-man pass concepts, what would you say is your favorite?
My favorite pass concept, I would say probably Y cross. We run a version of that at Axtell. It's not what you see at the 11-man level. It's not the same you see at the 11-man level, but it's the same exact concept. We run it just a little bit different. And then I would say probably my second would be smash, because you can do so many different things off of that.
Oh, yeah.
So, this year I'm actually coaching 7-on-7 under Weston Moody. He's the head coach at Wamego. And I'm taking full advantage of that, just learning from him, learning from a different coach and his perspective. They run air raid too, and I'm just trying to expand my knowledge on that to be the best coach that I can be.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome, dude. Where are you doing 7-on-7 with him at then?
Kansas Elite, based out of, I want to say Topeka. We have kids from Kansas City, Wichita, all over the state.
Yeah.
That's where I played 7-on-7. And so
Okay.
so Ty asked me to come help coach, and I'm taking full advantage of that.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's a way to obviously build connections with coaches right there. Something I never got to do. I knew my coaches in JUCO, but if I could go back and redo it, my sophomore year, I would have quit playing at Highland and I would have been a GA and tried to connect even more, to the coaches and
Oh yeah,
get
that's the biggest part of this game is just connections with coaches. I mean, the more you can learn, the better coach you're going to be, and the more connections you have, the more it'll help you on down the road.
Yeah, no doubt. And I agree about Smash. There's so many variations you can do with it. We definitely did some Smash. We did some mesh corner this year, but the corner route is a tough, probably the toughest throw to make, but Y
Yep.
cross, how would you say you teach it? So you're running it from a spread set, so your slots probably your crosser. It wouldn't be the typical teaching because the linebacker's not going to be out wide, so you're not going to go under first over second. I mean, how are you teaching it, I guess?
So I mean, it really depends kind of what defense they're in. We see more zone now than we have in the past. We're playing man. We're really not going to run this concept a whole lot. But yeah, no. So for us, we're kind of over the first level and then under the second. Usually because we have a deep route, a deep post taking that second level away, and we run the cross from that side. And so it just kind of opens up that middle, especially if they're in a cover three. I mean, I know, yeah, at college we were over the first and under the second.
Yeah, and I know we had yeah, like if we attach a tight end and we have the tight end actually cross, we'll have him go under the first linebacker over the second, but obviously he's going across the field, climbing in front of the safety. My next question here is, what separates your program from others?
All right. So, yeah, I mean, what separates our programs from others, I would say, is just the culture we've established. Axtell football's kind of always been on the map. We've had a few slumpy years, but I mean, we've always been competitive and good. And you can just tell that from watching the younger kids. They want to go to the football games and they want to be a part of the success that we've had and that we're having right now. As far as that, all the guys are bought in the summer. There's a very minimal days that guys miss, and if they miss, it's because they're at like some Catholic Heartwork camp, for example. But everybody's bought in, and then whenever football season comes around, they're ready to put the work in. I mean, our guys work probably. I mean, every coach probably says this, but I mean, our guys are some of the hardest working kids in the state, and they want to be good. So I feel like their hard work and their want to be there really separates us from other programs and our ability to not settle. I mean, like in practice, we'll run a play. We won't run. I mean, it'll work, but then at the same time, there's something we could have done to make it better. And so we just rep stuff, rep it, rep it, rep it. Even if we run it right, we're going to run it right 8 times before we move on. And so I feel like just our ability to not settle really that also helps separate us from other programs.
Yeah, no doubt. If you get those guys working that hard and they see the results and they get that taste of success, then they're going to buy in and do whatever you want and push themselves harder to, keep that success coming. So yeah, no doubt. You guys definitely have the culture and that's been there for sure. So what are you looking forward to most going into next year?
So what I'm looking forward to, I would say the summer training is the biggest part because I'm going to school for that type of stuff. Exercise science is my major, and I'm just trying to expand my knowledge and get our kids in the best of shape that they can be in, and also just get them to understand why we're doing stuff. Everybody runs a weight program in the summer, and it's just people are going through the motions. I want to have that be the best thing for those kids and make them look forward to it every single day to get better. Another thing I'm looking forward to is we return a lot of guys. I mean, we're losing three seniors that contributed a lot, but at the same time, we have an 8th grade class coming up. They're going to be really good, and they're going to push our upperclassmen. And that's what you need, especially in practice. If our scout team isn't giving us a good look, then that's not going to correlate to success on the field. And so I feel like we have a really good group coming up. We have a really good group that's already there, that's underclassmen this year. And so we're just going to build off that.
So here I'm going to go deeper into your exercise science degree and major. So basically just talk more about that. How is your education translating into your off-season program? And then what type of program stuff are you doing? Like what are you running? What are you guys lifting? What are you doing in the weight room?
So yeah, my degree, I'm going to be personal training certified after this semester, and so I can program for people. That's something I have struggled with in the past couple summers. I've just gone off of what I've done in the past and, what I've kind of researched and see what would be effective. And so what we do is we do 4 days a week in the summer right now. And so like early on, we'll do kind of just base training, kind of hypertrophy related stuff. And then we'll kind of move on to power and then strength related kind of later on in the summer. But I take one group of the guys in the weight room, and then the other half is outside doing agilities. And then we'll rotate after that, and then we'll come together at the end and we'll do some conditioning type stuff like that.
You said 4 days a week. You guys still going Monday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday? What days
Yep,
you going?
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I like that better than the Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, just because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's a 4 day break. That's a long time. And I just feel like consistency is key with making progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, and that's where you guys have that culture built, so kids aren't gonna miss a workout, or if they do intentionally, then they're gonna hear from it from not from the coaches, they're gonna hear from the players too, and that's
Oh,
huge.
for sure. And that's the biggest part of our program is the guys, they keep each other in check. It's not the coaches having to track down the kids. It's the other kids. If somebody's late, they're going to call them and they'll show up. So that's what's
Yep, and
good.
that's how you keep a culture going is the players. I mean, obviously, the coaches can establish the culture, but the players gotta maintain it. I mean, obviously, the players are out there making plays, not the coaches, so were you guys able to stay pretty healthy this year as far as injuries go?
In the past, we've stayed pretty healthy as far as like kind of ACL injuries and freak injuries like that. We really haven't had a whole lot of those. And I feel like that speaks on our summer training and then also the training that they do in the off season during the school year. Um, we had Owen go down with a freak ACL injury. He got landed on. I mean, it's not like it was because he cut and that causes injury, but I just feel like our training really prepares our body for what we're going to go through in the season. And so that really just helps our overall health. And so, I mean, if you can keep guys healthy, you're going to have a lot of success on the field. And, 8-man, you're one injury away from being the best team in the state to, not even making playoffs. And there's been teams that I've seen that has happened to. And so I just feel like our training really prepares us for what we're going to see out there.
Yeah, any different movements you can do to get the body used to that, awkwardness or whatever that happens to be in throughout a game, definitely. Yeah, Owen getting somebody landed on. We had the same situation. We had a freshman break his leg this year. The last game of the year, we didn't have any injuries all year. We only had 16 players. Well, we had an injury prior to when I got here. A kid hurt his back and was out for the year, but we had 16 players. Nobody got hurt to the last game, and it was a freak deal too. A kid basically got blocked into him, and he just landed wrong on his leg and broke his leg. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, those weird things do happen. But like you said, an 8-man injuries do occur, and they hurt big when they do because you don't have many options. But yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. My senior year, we had, oh boy, I think we had 14 or 15 guys on the team, and we suited up 11 for, I think, 3 or 4 games due to injuries, freak injuries like two broken collarbones, a broken hand. And then I went out with a concussion. And
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's just like freak things like that are happening. It's not because our bodies aren't used to those things. It's just because, it's just a freak injury that happened on the field. You can't do anything about those. Like you can't train your body to prevent yourself from breaking a bone
yeah.
because
You
somebody
can't
landed on you.
talk about that though. You played every sport. I know you even played, and I know Detweiler wasn't always happy about it, but you even did cross country during football season. So how would you say athletes competing in multiple sports helps that, staying healthy? What would you say there?
Oh, you're just constantly moving. I mean, of course, you got to take recovery into account. That's something I wish I did better of was just kind of keeping my body up in that shape that I could perform at my highest level. But Grady Buessing, he does it right now. He runs cross country and football, but I think it just helped for my overall shape. I was I was a distance runner, so I mean my endurance was that much better than other people's. And we had my senior year, we had half the team ran cross country, and I felt like we were down in the numbers. Like I said, we had 11 people suit up for 3 or 4 games that year, and just our conditioning is what kept us in that game or kept us from being competitive in those games.
Yeah, if I remember right, there was several football players that were out, not just you, but When you're, yeah, in that shape, you need to be in that good a shape when you only have 11 guys. I mean, you're not going to get any break time. So absolutely. I know you guys won state, and I talked to Coach Detweiler about this also, but tell us a little bit about like what was the biggest learning point this year, or the funnest memory that you remember this year. Tell us a little bit about this year and like the big things you remember.
So I mean, the first game we came out and we weren't ready, you know. I feel like our conditioning it wasn't there yet, and we just thought we were, you know, we won state the year before, so we just thought, you know, we're just going to win every game by 45 points, and that wasn't the case the first game, and so after that, Eric kind of spoke to the guys a little bit and you know, made them realize we got to actually go and compete out here. The guys responded really well after that first week, you know, and we just kind of went rolling from there. I would say my favorite part about this year would probably be just preparing for all the playoff games. You know, we put a lot of time into film study, and it's just like we're dreaming up plays here, and we're like, oh, that'll work. So we run it in practice, and it does. And then, you know, if we need to go to that play in a game, we will. So I mean, I really enjoyed scouting for the playoffs. I would say my favorite moment would probably be the Canton Golf game. There was just a lot of energy going into that game, and we had a lot of opportunities that we capitalized on, and then a couple of them that we didn't. That kind of hurt us, but you know, that's what I really enjoyed about this year.
So, Coach, going back to your own high school to be an assistant the last couple of years and coaching under your own high school coach, just kind of tell us what that's like and kind of how you balance that as a college student yourself.
Oh, you know, it's really fun. I really enjoy it. I like being on the flip side of it. You know, as a player, you don't see what all the coaches do and all the game planning that goes into it. So I really enjoy that. I mean, I feel I'm welcomed back home, obviously, because I played under those guys, and it's just been a really good experience for me and a great opportunity that not a whole lot of young coaches have, and that's something I've definitely taken advantage of. As far as balancing that with my college life, you know, it's not easy. I got classes 5 days a week. Most of the time it's just one on Friday, and so I make it work out with the going to games. But so like what it would look like for me is if I don't have class Friday, I'm making it to that Thursday practice because you know that's you know when everything comes together, you walk through is going through, and so it's good for me to see what we're going to do against that team coming in there, and that's what helped me a whole lot during playoffs this year. Is I was able to be at a couple practices during the week and help with the game planning. And that's something I've missed out on my first year. I wasn't really a big part of that. But this year I have been. And so, you know, watching film anytime I can, you know, before I go to bed at night. And then, yeah, so I'll come home and I'll ride the bus with the team to the games. And then, so that's just kind of how I balanced it.
So you were talking about you watch film and you kind of stay caught up as much as you can when you're away, and then you go back on Thursdays if you don't have class Friday, if you get the chance to go back and see the game plan. But my question here is then how much extra time, I guess, during the week, outside of your college classes and coursework, are you putting in to film and all that stuff? And how much are you really helping Coach Detweiler behind the scenes?
I would say, I mean, it kind of depends on the week and who we're playing against, who we got a game plan for. Especially in the playoffs, I spend a lot more time. I would say, like during the regular season, it's about 2 hours of film, and then also just like dreaming up plays that might work against them. So I would say during the postseason, it's anywhere from like 2 to 5 hours watching film, and then taking notes and shooting my ideas back to Detweiler. We both we're both watching film, taking notes, and so I'm sitting here texting him while I'm watching it, and he's watching it too, so I can tell him to go to a certain play, and I'm like, well, this might work, and so, that's what has helped us. I mean, just the ability to contact each other and see what he's seeing, so he can send me what he is seeing, and I can send him what I'm seeing, and then from there we just kind of make the game plan from there.
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime you got more than one guy, bouncing ideas off each other, you're gonna definitely find things that work and get things going. All right, so here this will be the last one. So, Coach, what's your biggest piece of advice to upcoming or current football coaches out there?
I would say, I mean, don't sell yourself short. Always be a student of the game. There's a lot to be learned out there. Coaches that have been coaching for 30 some years, they're always watching, seeing what they can do better. And then also, I mean, don't sell your kids short, open that playbook up. And, if you're just sticking to what you've always ran in the past and it's not working, well, you got to change something. It's just being adaptable to the game and what it's been thrown at you. That's what's really helped us at Axtell be successful, is that we're not content with running the same thing. We'll have, I mean, we have the same 10 plays, but we'll run a different version of that, depending on who we're playing and the looks that we see. So, like, my advice for you guys out there is just expand your knowledge as much as you can. Sky's the limit when it comes to that.
Yeah, definitely. Be adaptable. You got to find ways to do the best things you can with the players you got, and at 8-man, numbers are limited.
Oh, exactly. And that was the biggest part when I was in high school, is that we didn't have the athletes that we do now. And so, our game plan is totally different. It was get the ball out quick and throw it. And now, I mean, we can sit back in the pocket, we can throw it out quick, we can do almost anything in our playbook now with the athletes we have. But yeah, you just got to coach to your players. I mean, that's the biggest part of coaching, is being adaptable. You don't always have those Brandon Schmelzleys or those Tyson Strubers on your team. And so you gotta coach to what you have. And so that's just the biggest part of it.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Coach, thanks again for taking the time to come on. Really appreciate you coming on.
No problem. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me, Coach.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the 8-Man Breakdowns podcast. If you ever have a question for me, feel free to comment down below on this video or visit my bio to shoot me an email. If you've learned anything or enjoy any of these videos, please click subscribe and check out some of my other videos right here. And as always, guys, thanks for tuning in.